So those are the two areas where we're probably going to go to. If we bounce in this general vicinity, it's going to go to at least here. 396 area. You have this indecisive area above, and then of course the more aggressive area. If we do get a crazy bounce, this is probably where they're headed after that area. So gonna keep those on there just in case, because it's, you know, no point in deleting it. But I did want to point out the fact that 392.40 is a solid break below, not just 392.60. So we need to kind of watch both of these areas here. It's very tiny, so it's not like it's that hard. But if that ends up cracking, we're probably going to go see 390.50 and maybe even 388, which, again, we were just there a couple of days ago. We got pretty strong bounces in this area. So, again, as you take your entries under 392.40s, look to take profit at 390.50, at least most of them, and then try to take the rest of your position at 388, if that happens. Again, if 392.40 happens, don't just randomly jump in. So these are the kind of small plans that we have in store today. I actually kind of like it a lot because it actually is systematic. It's not just, you know, way up in the sky or way down in the dirt and there's not a whole lot to go off of. There's a ton to go off of today, and it's a little spaced out. I like that the most. The fact that it's a little spaced out is the best. Tesla's still holding a good area, guys. It's not like it's the end of the world yet. If it cracks 115.60 though, then you can start to think, okay, this is probably going lower. But till then, it looks like it wants to potentially hold, and a lot of things are kind of in the same seat right now. Watch for Tesla to break its pre-market low for a continuation down. If they keep holding, though, you can still watch for some bounces. They have lowering volume so far through these next two 5-minute candles. It's crazy to think, though, that we could be at 396, 397s within the next 20, 30 minutes. If a good hold and bounce comes from here, you could see SPY up at 396, 397 very soon. That yellow range that we have marked. Oh, Daffy, nice. I see you posting on the trade floor with the sectors. That's very helpful. It's nice to see what's hurting what by how much. You can see he posted the XLC sector just now, communication sector, which has T-Mobile, Google, Disney, Netflix, Meta, and he shows all of them are negative except Netflix trying to push higher. Good eye, Daffy. You might see some laggards in the XLC sector behind Netflix, especially if SPY gets to pumping here, which now they have rising volume. They're continuing to hold 394. Very good sign that we're going to possibly go to 396, possibly 397. Very good hold, though, so far. Looks like the healthcare sector turned green as well. Everything was red. Healthcare turning green. Very good sign.
So it's still defending that pre-market low. So if they can get a go into the upside, that's going to be looking pretty good.
This would be a really good risk-reward trade here if everything continues higher, because you're right near where it could drop below. So if we're buying here, it's a very good risk-reward. We always have winners and losers in every sector. Facts, Daffy. Thanks, BB. Give me some confidence, Tesla. I mean, you should be confident as long as it doesn't break this level. That's pretty much how I put it, in short. Should be good as long as this level doesn't break. And yeah, Daffy's 100% correct. Flirting with the pre-market low. Apple defending very well. Amazon continuing even higher. That Tesla trade's looking a lot better now. For anybody who wants to get in on that Tesla potential trade there, I like that a lot. Need to see SPY continue higher. Need to see other sectors turn green. And Tesla getting a little bit more movement now, but they're barely defending that pre-market low. If Amazon was to slow down here, that'd be a very, very bad sign for Tesla. Really good push, though. I still like the hold of this so far. It's just very aggressive of a trade if anybody's taking that. You want to see a pop over 117 and a pop over their current high over 118. So it's almost every dollar right now for Tesla to the upside. Amazon finally cashed in on all my orders. Why would Amazon affect Tesla? Because they're within the same sector. Amazon and Tesla are in the same sector, so they definitely affect each other. You'll always see me do the same for Apple and Microsoft. Apple and Microsoft work together. Sometimes they fight against each other. They help and hurt each other. It's the same story for Amazon and Tesla. Now, the thing that's kind of weighing Tesla down, though, is they did have news. So they were already kind of more bearish than anything else in their sector. But that's what gives me a little bit more confidence in Tesla possibly trying to move higher. But if Amazon was to slow down, that'd be very bad timing for Tesla. Nvidia turning green. They're getting over previous day close right now.
So getting over 117.
AMD's fighting 70-10 and Nvidia's breaking previous day close. Keep an eye on the semis to see if they continue or not. Yeah, Tesla getting some buyers finally. I was going to say, it's either lagging or it's about to fall because it's not following anything.
See if SPY can get over this 95 now with volume. Apple coming back up. Microsoft coming back up. Need to get over that opening price on both.
Good stuff, Henry. Glad to hear you banked on Tesla. Like I said, that's a good risk-reward buy because it was basically at the death level. If it falls here, it's falling. It's going to fall hard. But this is a good risk-reward spot as long as it holds. That's why I liked it there. You had 3 in a row candles lowering volume and small body candles with big volume that don't match their candles, initially saying there might be a small bounce here. And then the extra confirmation on top of Amazon continuing even higher. Now here, I probably wouldn't have been as confident, but they kept going and hit 96. That's what gave me a little bit more confidence that Tesla does have at least one push in store. Anything past that, I need a little bit more confirmation. Tesla's still defending the 117, so there's a good chance you see them smack 119 if they can get over their today's high.
We'll just pushed higher over 133. Amazon pushing new high. That's going to help.
Yeah, Tesla should definitely hit 119 then. Like I said, bounces could definitely occur in between this area. We definitely got one. They exited 394 with rising volume. That's a good 40% entry. We haven't really had an 80% entry. Does everyone understand that, though? The difference between an open range breakout and the retest entry? Sometimes you'll hear us call it the 40% or the 80% entry. This is the 40% that happened. We have not had an 80%. You can say a short-term retest happened. If you go from point of breakout to the high of that reset candle, they did hold the golden pocket. So a short-term retest was in effect, but we have not seen any more mid-term or longer-term retest happen. Good job, WAG. I'm still kind of going over Tesla just to make sure it's all finished out. I already told a lot of you to take profits into the 118. I do still see a few of you trading it, so I wanted to make sure y'all are covered. But it looks like it wants to at least tap 119s. We're almost there. Really good job, though, if anybody took my advice on the trade idea, buying at the good risk-reward spot as it was holding 115.60s. That was a very, very good risk-reward spot to buy at. Tesla and Amazon are moving up together, finally. Good to see. Great call out. Who said that? Christian Diaz. Round of applause to you, man. Good job clicking around and making sure what the sector is doing. They hit 118.89. I was 11 cents off. I'm so sorry. Good job, though, if anybody took this Tesla trade idea. Good job if you paid attention to my SPY levels, because both of those have paid so far. I can't really give credit to myself on any of the others. We have a rejection and a potential lower high here on SPY. If we get any kind of seller candle pop up with volume, there's a good chance we're pulling back from here. So I'm going to go from point of breakout above 394 to the high of this move. If we do pull back, this is where we're going. Make sure to listen, because I do point out everything I'm doing, everything I'm explaining, I always point it out. Point of breakout to the high of the move so far. This is where price will probably reject, or if rejecting, this is where price will retrace towards. Yeah, SPY kicking it down. Failed to make a new high. Picked up rising volume on this candle, but no good break below. Now you're getting that break below. Like I said, key area to watch would be about 395.80. 85-ish, just because it's kind of where they pushed up, held as support, and tried to push up again. So if they crack that, you have to assume they want to go back down to the area we highlighted. What made you pick that point of breakout? Check out the pre-market prep, Logan Kane. I went over this multiple times. 394 was the break above level because that's where when price was sitting here in pre-market. This was the next closest level. So above 394, I look for good breakouts. I don't trade the first 10 minutes, so both of these were pointless. Indecisive candle, rising volume close over 394. We've been bullish broke out since here. The reason I chose that as a retracement spot is I go from the point of the breakout to the high of the day, and it gives me this, which is a major area where price will pull back if they break any kind of short-term support, which you can see they broke the angle that I drew. They broke this short-term support right here where they tried to sit on top of and increase again. They failed to make that new high, so you need to watch that support. They broke that, and now they're testing the pullback spot. All right, I'm going to do one more breakdown on SPY, and then we'll end it right there. But big key area to watch for the rest of today is going to be this blue area. And again, that's the retracement percentage for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, from 394 to the high of day when we first got our real slowdown. We had a slight pullback here, and I'll just start over from the beginning. So the first 10 minutes really weren't anything. We just got a good pop, a good slowdown, didn't break today's open, which is a good key area for short-term price action. We held it again, and we got a rising volume close over that 394, which is a key level from the bigger time frame. That was our entry there for our callouts this morning. A lot of us took profits as we hit our first area here on our first slowdown, but what's really cool about this, if you go from the point of breakout to that move right there, to where it kind of hit that high and slowed down for its first slowdown, they held the control point, held the golden pocket, so it was just like this area right here over the larger area. It's the same exact thing. So that was pretty cool that it held that retracement percentage. We went over that as well after it happened. And then we ended up pushing into 396s, which again, if you paid attention, watch for bounces between 392.60s and 394. 392.60s, 394. Got a bounce from there. Above 398.50, 399 on SPY, which this is if we got up here. That was my plan from last night. But this morning we talked about that you're probably going to see a bounce. If we did bounce, we're going to see it into this area, and then you can look for a slowdown, in which you can look for either retracements back towards where we jump from, or you can look for a continuation higher, which that's kind of what the market's deciding right now. So that was a very clean move. We also talked about Tesla. This is the one I was very adamant about this morning during the creation of these two candles here. I was talking about the fact that I liked it through the 15 minutes of these three candles here, we had lowering volume candle after candle after candle, and the size of the candle got smaller and smaller and smaller, making it very anomaly-like, which is good. You want to see big volume, smaller candles, because that means, based on positioning, what you can trade for. So we've called out some really good risk-reward trades here at the support of the pre-market low. So really, really good bounces. Told people to take most profits here, take the rest of them here into the 119.30s. Pretty good extra move after that, so if anybody got trapped, they didn't really lose on that. They got some good excess gains, so that's good. But back to the SPY bigger time frame. Everything else we just kind of updated, so I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we called this, we called that. I'm just here to talk about what we actually talked about. I'm not here to make up anything. But here on the bigger time frame on SPY, after this 3-day weekend too, this is going to cause a little bit of indecision going into Tuesday, since we have a 3-day weekend. Meaning that we could experience a low volume day today and possibly on Tuesday. So be very careful about that. A big thing to look out for is the rest of the gap fill. We almost did it the other day. We pretty much did it in the pre-market, but didn't quite do it during the open market session. So there's a little bit of room above. Past 399.40s, 399.50s, we're going to be looking past that towards 400, 403, and possibly 405, 407. So these are the key areas to look above if we do get some bullish continuation next week. If we get any kind of pullback, we need to pay attention to this smaller gap here that we have marked still, which I can delete this one. This smaller gap here between, what is this? 392 and 390.50, which you guys have on the smaller time frame chart. I will post those links on Tuesday again. So we need to be looking at this going into Tuesday, see if we pull back, can we break into this? I already talked about the bullish scenario. If we end up cracking this little kind of angle we have here, we have to assume we want to at least fill that gap. And if we get a more harsh, aggressive pullback, we have to assume that 386.25 is going to want to be tested again, the area in which we bounced from. We literally broke above it, held on top of it, continued higher. So if we're going to drop and retrace anywhere, it's going to be there if it's aggressive. So these are kind of two key areas to look out: short term, more midterm. Short term, more midterm, for both bull and bear. And this is what we're going to have to pay attention to going into next week. You could also see we are kind of forming, and I'm not going to say it now, but we do have a potential cup and handle forming here. You got the cup, just looking for the handle. So if we did make that move, a cup and handle could be in effect on the bigger time frames on SPY, which you guys know me. I don't really like sitting here talking about different patterns left and right. I'm a big candlestick pattern guy, but not a harmonic type pattern guy who talks about, you know, different weird patterns that pop up that normally mean a bias towards one side. I don't like to do that to y'all because I don't want to give you bias. I still want you to plan for both up and down regardless of what the market's showing or telling you. So make sure to keep that in mind.